Well, good morning, folks. How are you? Well, we're back again with one of our amazingly talented artists, Amelia Bardo. Amelia has been a great friend since we first filmed her, which was about 10 years ago, wasn't it, Mills?
It's almost to the day, I think.
Is that
Well,
right?
to the month anyway, because yeah, it was 11/11/11 was the opening of my studio.
My goodness. I had hair then. No, I never had.
You,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Oh no, you didn't. You don't look a day older.
Yeah, I do. I feel it. I can assure you.
So do
Now,
I.
you're actually sitting in your studio at the moment. You're actually down at M Arts, which is an establishment in the middle of Mooloolaba where we live.
Yes.
It's a fantastic little spot down there. So, how long have you been in there for?
I think I came last August, so just yeah, nearly a year in here.
Yeah.
And I'm in a different studio to when I first started. I ended up in a container, which I just found a little bit claustrophobic. So I put my hand up for a bigger one, and I've got a really lovely one down here now. So
Sure.
it was the old kitchen where the stray cats used to hang out, but now it's just stray Mealy.
Well,
No,
going
I
back,
love it. Yeah, lots of creative people down here.
yeah, it is. It's a well, the whole area that we live in is really very creative anyway. And there's literally artists. They tell me it's the mountain, the ley lines in the mountain or something, the magnetic pull. I don't
Yeah.
know whatever.
No. Well, it drew me in.
Well, it's really.
Yeah.
So, you've actually become really good friends with our head of production as well, Sophia. So you guys
Yes,
are pretty inseparable these days. It's like
she's my bestie.
for,
um,
for
it
coming
was an
on.
instant connection with you guys.
Yeah,
Totally.
we had a
10
great
years to the day almost.
and
So,
laugh. I mean, just absolutely laugh ourselves silly sometimes.
oh my goodness, it was so funny. Yeah, it was so lovely to meet you. And I'd seen you in the paper and just
Mm,
thought that's the perfect way to get business going. So
yeah,
I rang you up, and I didn't expect you to come around that week. And then it was suddenly it was all happening.
I'm 400 yards down the road. so,
Yeah, it was fantastic.
so how did you use the show? I mean, how has it helped you along the way?
Well, that first show, I think,
You've actually done a couple, haven't you?
yeah. Well, the first show when I first got with you guys, you were on the channel for me.
Yeah.
So, it was kind of like you could just turn on the telly. So I was, telling everybody that I was going to be on TV, which was, I'm going to be famous. um, so for me, that was just a really good push because I was opening my gallery, and I had my little studio, which was right next to my house,
Yeah.
for, I think I was, doing work in there and selling open to the public for about 5 years. So it really kind of pushed me to, be a bit more serious about myself, which was, it's been amazing. It's really taken me in lots of different journeys as well. I think I journeyed with you guys for a little while because it
Yeah,
was
we went
such
down.
a,
We did a show with each other, and you assisted us when we went to the Junee jail.
oh yeah, yeah, that was happy and sad.
We sort of had
um,
these really attractive women and with these serial killers. It's like, oh, what's going to happen?
I thought they said it was minimum security.
But it's
But
really,
lots of great people. Hey, it was
yeah,
amazing.
that was pretty amazing, absolutely. So, but you also, because we were on Virgin Airways at one stage as well, and did
Yep.
someone come and buy a painting off you from the airline?
I Yeah, I was actually getting quite a lot of people going, I just flew to Perth and I saw you on the screen. And I'm like, oh. And I was a fellow in Perth who was a policeman, and
Yeah.
he'd travelled over to Brisbane,
Okay.
and he brought his bicycle with him, and he was a bit of a bicycle nut and a traveller. So he'd cycled all the way down to Mooloolaba, and because he'd seen me on the screen, he came in and he bought the painting that was on the show.
Yeah, okay.
So that ended up, he took it back to Perth with him and his push bike. So and then he opened a cafe. He wasn't a policeman anymore. He opened a cafe, and from that
Mhm.
one of his music friends had come in and said, I really love that. I want that on the album of my CD, of my music CD.
Yeah.
So that went on to be in a few different things.
So
like,
it's sort of like Colour in Your Life sort of acted as a catalyst for a lot of other things as you went along.
oh, yeah, it was amazing. So just, just getting lots of people coming to me all the time and saying, oh, I've seen you here and seen you do this. And I, because I think I did a couple of shows with you. One was a chalk art one,
Yeah,
which that was a bit of a dark one because I was doing some zombie stuff
yeah.
for FX Studios in Sydney, on the ground on a big canvas. But that 3D work I'm still doing. I've just been in Townsville doing some more 3D work. Yeah.
Uh, and we went up to because you're sort of part of the team these days as well. But we did go to Cairns as well.
Yes, to Cairns.
Three of us.
And I think even a few of your artists actually got filmed in my shop. So we ended up using it as their studio because you couldn't travel to certain places. But you guys have been all around the world now.
Yeah, so it started out in a little country town, and then we crossed the globe, which was pretty amazing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we've still got the other hosts and the crews across the world as well. And
Yeah.
now Sophie's taken over as head of production. She's now the host of the show here. But
Oh,
I hope to
both,
get through. I do.
yeah, and you've always had a really good crew, even Tanita and Joe and everybody that's been a part of it. I've made so many friends and learnt so much from your show, even just watching the other artists. So
what's the proudest or the best moment you've sort of have come out of what you're doing? I mean, moving into M-Arts is I think is a good, because it's centralised so that so many other people can come in there, and Murwillumbah really is a hub for the arts. I mean, we've got one of the best regional galleries in the country in the town as well, and then obviously with M-Arts, and there's so many crafty people around. But what do you think sort of stands out most of all for you?
Well, I think since having that studio and doing that show, obviously, I'm a bit of a multitasker, as you already know. I went off and did some movie sculpture. So I sculpted on movies for 4 years, which it was basically like finding my soul job. And I absolutely love sculpting. So for me, I've really pushed forward on creating public arts, and I love getting out in the public and the public seeing my work. So I just keep doing bigger and bigger things. I've got a plastic reef in my backyard that I've been creating over the last 3 years. So for me, that kind of work really inspires me. I mean, I love painting and just showing off whatever I do, but I'm trying to really hone in on that part of my life, which has kind of evolved. I think one of the other shows that I did was small works and a little bit of, not welding. I never really got into the welding side of it, but I actually really want to learn that as well, and do bigger works.
Yeah, your work's just amazing. You're actually working on the film set for Thor with Chris Hemsworth.
Yes. Yeah, and I think the highlight out of that, which, I haven't had a lot of shows or prizes or anything like that. I haven't had a solo show. But for me, the work that I did on Thor in a team got into GOMA in Brisbane, and it was, part of the Marvel exhibition. And it was, it was kind of like I walked in there and no one knows that I was, in a shed for 5 months creating all of that. And so I got to design a lot of the clay work and stuff that got molded that, just became the whole throne, the Hulk's bed, and creating massive sculptures. It's fascinating work.
Well, Mel's, it's been a pleasure. It's been a fantastic pleasure to have your friendship as well, regardless of you being on. It's a great.
I love you guys so much. You do such wonderful work, and I love watching the show still.
Yeah, we're still developing. I've actually got some phone calls coming up, which is going to change our direction once again. So,
fantastic.
I think just to be there long enough for people to know what you're doing. So, But thank you
Yeah.
for your time. I really appreciate it. And then I'll let you get back to your studio and have a fantastic day. Have a creative day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
You too. It's lovely to see you, even though I keep running into you around town sometimes. No, it's lovely to be on the show again, and thank you.
Thank you.